Thanks for joining us. We have new information tonight about the two track athletes from Forest Lake who were hit by a car while at practice yesterday.
This afternoon, the State Patrol said the victims are Jace Blanchard and Samuel Farinella, both 15 years old. Farinella suffered life-threatening injuries in the crash that happened on Highway 61 as he and Blanchard crossed the street with a group of runners. Tonight, the team is competing at the U in its first track meet since that crash. That's where Sammy Selena is live. Sammy?
Yeah, the meet has been going on for a few hours now. At the very beginning, they did hold a moment of silence for those students just to keep them in their thoughts. We did hear from the district a little bit earlier in the morning who said those two students, they are still in the hospital, but their families are with them and in good spirits, and they're receiving care. Despite all of that, Forest Lake said it's important to be here today. Extra student support is on campus Wednesday at Forest Lake High School after two 15-year-old student athletes were struck by a car as they were running on Highway 61. The State Patrol says these two boys were in the crosswalk when an 84-year-old driver hit them.
It was awful. I don't know what's going on there. There's a crosswalk clearly marked. There's lights that flash. And it's just a tragedy.
Forest Lake residents say they're keeping those two athletes in their prayers.
Definitely for healing, both physically and mentally. It's very tough what they've got to be going through.
As a community member, we will be praying for them and loving them with all our hearts.
But as they remain in the hospital, their team runs for them. Today, the Forest Lake track team was at the University of Minnesota at the Minnesota Open High School Spring Invitational.
And it's a pleasure to have you all here today, especially the Forest Lake Rangers.
We're glad Forest Lake is here, but thinking about them.
They gathered with other schools who can only begin to understand what they're going through.
I hope they're doing okay, so it's emotional, yeah.
So as those thoughts race, Forest Lake athletes run for them. Fairly easily. The Forest Lake coaches, they didn't want to go on camera, but they did tell us that the track community across Minnesota has been reaching out to them and checking up on them and their athletes. Back to you.